G'day gang, Simo and Ed here for another episode of the Fastline Track Growth Show. Remember months ago I couldn't even say that?
I'm really impressed.
Where we talk all things karting and business.
We do indeed.
So this week, what's happening this week?
Well, this is the second part of what we're planning to be a two-part video, all on Sales 101. So we're looking at all those different ways in your kart track you can just add a little bit more revenue and hopefully a little bit more profit to your kart track. So we're looking at not so much the details of what to say, but just getting a dozen or so factors correct so that you've made your kart track, you've given it like the best opportunity really to go and increase your revenues.
Yeah. All right, well, let's crack on.
Cool.
Number 7.
7? Sounds like Len Goodman. 7. There'll be people around the world going, who the bloody hell's Len Goodman? The Americans will know. Strictly Come Dancing.
Oh, well, see, I didn't know who he was.
Don't you know? There you go.
Strictly Come Prancing. Who watched that?
Exactly.
I've probably offended half the audience now.
Well, they call it something else in America. It's Strictly on BBC, so everybody in the UK will know what that is. Yeah. Dancing with the Stars, is it in America? I know one of the dancers, actually. That's another story for another day. Had a chat with Steve Wozniak, the co-founder of Apple, about that one day. But there you go. There's my bragging story. We'll move back to Sales 101. You don't want to hear that story. If you want to hear that, come to Dortmund, January. We're doing the karting spectacular. We'll have a chat over beer and I'll explain how I met Steve Wozniak. Back to Sales.
Point number 7. So people buy on emotion and justify with logic.
Yeah, this is such a huge, major point in sales. Every single purchasing decision you make, whether it's a 10 pence chew or the coffee you bought in your favourite coffee shop this morning, all the way through to your house, was an emotional buying decision. Even if you just bought the latest go-kart parts for your track and had a look very carefully along all the price lines and looked and got your calculator out, there was still an emotional decision in there. Now what happens is people buy on emotion first of all, and then they'll tell you afterwards why they made that buying decision to justify something within them. So Debs is a really good example of this. So, you know, she'll be in there going, I've just bought a fantastic jumper. She's bought a fantastic jumper because it looked great on the mannequin, or the person in the shop has done a real number on her, or something's happened. And then she will come back to me and go, I bought this lovely jumper and I saved us £4 because there's a sale there. Now what she's doing, she's justifying to me logically like this emotive buying decision was such a good idea, right?
Does Deb watch these?
Yeah, sometimes, and she's also heard me on the phone. It's all cool. It would only be a problem if I was saying it behind her back. So she knows, and she'll recognise herself in this. Debs, you recognise yourself in this, don't you? This applies to your go-kart track though. Crikey, there's buying a discretionary spend evening hour. It doesn't get much higher on the emotion scale. Now, they may or may not have had that money just disposable, and depends on your clients, and they'll have it there. Now, they'll be justifying it in other ways. You know, my mum, bless her, would be sitting there going, it's just lovely to get the family together again. And that's the sort of thing she'd say. That's her logic. But there's no logic in there when she was buying that. She just wants, like, you know, the fun elements of the evening and to have an amazing time. But she'll talk all about, it's nice to get the family together again.
And that's why it's a really good idea to try and get your customers to agree to come back when they've just got off the track.
Yes. Because emotion is high.
Yeah.
Logic is still very low, so it's not interfering anyway. And they're on emotive high. The timing would be very interesting. So if you're not selling the timing is, if you're not selling it at the point they're getting their timings from the track, you've got your timing wrong. If you can follow that sentence, doing better than me. But yeah, people buy an emotion, never forget this, they justify on logic, so there's no point putting loads of logical things into your conversation with them to get them to buy. It will make no difference. Get into the emotion and the real reasons they're buying. Tap into that. All of a sudden, the wallet's open, the credit cards come out. They'll spend more money with you.
Number 8.
Assume your customers are predetermined to say no. Now, this isn't, I mean, that sounds quite scary. It's true. Most people, we've got this amygdala in our brain and it protects us from saber-toothed tigers. I haven't seen one for at least a month in Surrey in England. But the amygdala does a really good job. It protects us, and it used to protect us from, saber-toothed tigers, dinosaurs, God knows what else we had to face all the way through all this time we've been on this planet evolving. No, I wasn't born then. I'm talking about my ancestors. But in the modern day, the amygdala stops you sometimes from buying stuff, even if it's a really bloody good idea. Right? So I know in sales, I've been with companies, in fact, let's take one of my old businesses, Debt Advice, liquidating, going down the tubes, all hell letting loose. I turn up and go, I can help stop this, and I can get your company back onto an even keel and get it growing again. Are you ready? No, we're fine. Right, now, so what the bloody hell's just happened there with the amygdala is trying to protect them, even if it doesn't help them. And on a major example like the one I've given you, okay, you start to think, okay, well, that's cool. On a go-kart track, really? Yeah, your customers are predetermined to say no. So the question, if it's a yes, no to, would you like another drink? It may just be a no, or they'll sit and try and judge. So now they're using a logic decision. People buy an emotion, remember, not logic. Would you like another drink? Do we want another? Well, we'll probably leave it. And how many times have you been in a service environment where that type of conversation happens? Well, no, we'll probably leave that. So we already know this to be a factor. So don't allow it to happen. Go further up your scripting and get into alternate close is a good one, which is why I spot it in the restaurants. So, you've had another, like that drink went down very fast, or I can tell you've enjoyed that. Well, they'll probably go yes, because that's not a sales line. I've already now got them nodding along, which will help with the sales process. And then I'll lead into a conversation piece that just talks about, well, there's 4 of you here, that's gone really, really well. I can tell that you probably want to finish drinks around the same time. We can get you another beer. I haven't asked them anything. We can get you another beer. It's an open-ended question that nudges them down the path of, great, I will have another one. Rather than, would you like another one? Are we just stopping here, are we? I just want to avoid it. Debs will drink slowly. I'll drink a little bit faster. Would we like to finish our drinks at the same time? Yes, that'd be great. I'll have another beer while we're here. Debs, you're driving. I'm going to have to show this video.
Number 9.
Yeah.
Position, value over price.
Exactly. Right, this taps back into something to do with emotion as well, really. But if you can layer lots of value into some offering and then the price looks like it's really low, you've already got into more of an emotive position. But what you want to do is position the value of what you really get. So go-karting is interesting. You burn more calories per minute than you do when you're running, right?
Yeah. That's
a high value proposition that people come as a surprise to people, so they'll interested that anything that's new turns people's heads. They go, really? They'll question it, but it'll draw them in. There's other things. It'll be exhilarating. You'll get to hang out with all your friends again. So this is all the stuff that they're buying into. It's all the value over anything that sits there and goes, well, we use more fuel because our engines are bigger, but we keep our price low, would be a really awful sales positioning piece, because that's price-led. And it gets them thinking about money rather than the real things they're tapping into, which is the value-led stuff. So if you can build value into your proposition as well, that gets more interesting. So, and what you're really looking for is stuff that's valuable to your customer, but doesn't have a huge cost attached to it. So we've talked previously about the value of walking a track with a marshal. That has very low cost because they're already there. The value perception is absolutely huge, and I've argued in a previous video, and I still think it's true, I think I can get more gross profit from a track walk once than I can from a 15-20 minute kart session. And the perception of value, it would be huge there, and therefore makes it more easier for a sale to happen and draws more people in. They go, it's brilliant. They walk the track. The guy shows you where you can get the personal best. One of our team got really close, and etc., etc.
And then afterwards, going through the timing sheet with them and sort of going, well, listen, I think if you did this, this, and this, you could shave half a second off your lap times.
Yeah. And particularly if they're into that zone where they're getting very close to, say, the track record, and if that's important to the client, go, I think you're within striking distance of beating that.
Yeah.
And here's a photograph of the guy that was on it like last week, and you could be there. Let's just go and have a look. I'll show you where you could do that. What are you doing next weekend? Are you going to come and give it a shot? I'm working on Saturday. If you come and just wave, I'll come over. I'll just talk you through it again. That would be a very high likelihood of an additional sale that may or may not have happened. In fact, I quite like that scenario.
and you're adding that value in there.
Yeah.
He's getting coached.
Yeah, and a strong reason to come back in 7 days' time. Well, you know, I know you have your regulars in your go-kart track, or I hope you do. I'm sure there are, but you've all got them. But how do you get more people coming, and why are they really coming? So if you tap into that, it'd be amazing.
Up to number 10. We've got more than 10 this week. Amazing, eh?
I know. How do you do that?
Listen more than you talk. I tell my guys, you got 2 of these, you got 1 of them. Use it in that proportion.
That's right. So this comes slow. Well, this is important because if people will talk, and if they're talking about themselves, that helps build rapport. Really important part of sales. It also allows the customer to feel like they've been heard. And if everything they're talking about and you're just nudging along with questions makes sense, they will buy it anyway. So it leads to a more natural sale. So you've really got to get them talking. So we're coming back to BGQs, bloody good questions. Open-ended questions are the best way forward. As soon as you're channeling into yes-no conversation, you're going to have to talk a lot more to go and get to the end result of what they're really looking for or what they're going to want to talk to you about. So you've got to get really smart with your questioning. I suppose a more tough one to think about, and there's no hard and fast answer here, is what's the least number of questions you'd need to ask somebody at your track in each touch point area to get them to spend more with you? That's it's an interesting concept that I'd explore a little bit. But what I want to do is I just want a few questions that really get the customer talking and therefore give us all the clues that we need to go and help them go and either spend more, cool, but not just getting money for the sake of money. It's putting value in there so that they feel like I've had a fantastic evening.
Yeah.
And when they're walking away going, they were great at that track, because they're going to know, they say, don't they, people, you know, they'll never forget how you made them feel. So are you making people feel absolutely awesome as they're leaving the track and thinking, wow, I really enjoyed that, I must go back again? The clue to that, or the key to that, not the clue, the key to that is making sure that you get them talking more
than you do.
Yeah.
So, number 11.
Yep.
Success happens day by day.
It really does.
Yeah.
So this is, you've got to think about sales. People, what you'll do is you'll get a list of everything that we've just been talking through. You'll get your scripts in place, you get the energy right, and off you go. And of course, success follows, doesn't it? But actually, it just doesn't happen like that. It's not like a linear process that you go through. Success happens really by the day by day and letting people just understand that they've just got to apply themselves now, that they've got all the tools at their disposal, that the people in your organisation down at your track, that they understand what's required of them to go and help with sales, but understand it doesn't happen just overnight by magic and just because you've told them once. So really, this is where you've got, hopefully, having your team huddles at least once or maybe twice a day for 5 or 10 minutes, and you're sitting down and you'll just be looking at elements of it to start putting these steps of success into your sales process, and know that it is a process that will unfold over time. So it really is day by day. So this is the management stuff. So over leadership, or we might do a session on leadership v management. Leadership is the quarter by quarter, year by year, like 3-year plans and all the rest of it. Management is your day-to-day, week by week, month by month to go and make it all happen. And this part of what we're talking about in this video and the last one is all around the management of sales and how we get that to be more natural feel to it and get that flowing through your kart track.
Absolutely. And the last one, point number 12. It's an obvious one.
It's obvious.
But it is often forgotten, isn't it?
The most overlooked bit of the sale.
Yeah. And that is...
Ask for the sale.
Yeah.
you're in a B2C environment down at Kart Track, so it's perhaps not so high pressure. If you're going through corporate bookings, there might be a point where you need to ask them if they're going to go spend some money with you, so make sure that you do ask, and you can be quite open about that. It's like, hey, are you going to go ahead and book with us on either of these dates? In a B2C environment, though, where you've got people down at the track or you've got people pulling up, maybe inquiring about whether you're open, do make sure that you're asking for the sale. Now, I don't mean just say, hey, are you ready to spend some money with us? There are ways to ask for sales. So if they're already down the track, I don't know what till systems you've got or anything, but if we've got your card on, like, or would you like me to charge it to your card? Would be a way to ask for a sale.
Yeah.
But there's different ways to go and ask for a sale. Are you sticking on the water? You mentioned that you might be moving to alcohol. Are you ready to go and have a drink now you're off the track? Are you stuck in water, or are you going to go into a beer or two? Alternate sale. So there's ways to ask for the sale without just going, can you give me some money? Because, back in the last video we were talking about making it fun and not sounding like a salesperson. So you're going to need to find ways that people can creatively ask for sales without the person on the receiving end feeling like you've just sold to them. So maybe you're going to have, and you don't need lots, but 3 or 4 ways that your staff can ask for a sale without it sounding like they're asking for a sale.
Absolutely.
Make that sound fun.
Well, there you go. We had 2 videos, and we're giving you 12 lessons on selling.
Yep, 12 pointers in there that will help you. You might be sitting there, you might be looking at it going like, wow, but we've already got a sales process. Adopt some of these, add them in, see what happens to your revenues. If it adds the 1, the 2, the 3%, they really start to add up very quickly. So have fun with it. Give us some feedback. Yeah. Let us know what's working. Let us know if you think something's not working. That'd be interesting as well. We can have a chat through that with you. We'll take it all from there. But yeah, cool. Enjoy.
That's it from me.
It's toodles from me.
And we'll see you next week.
Look forward to it. See you in a bit.
Ciao.
Bye.